This is a powerful team to use in Open Great League, and according to PvPoke, this team is ranked rank 1 on its rankings. So we're gonna be looking at a very strong team with a lot of coverage against the entire meta of Great League, and of course we still have the bulk that we need to make this team work. So here comes now the Shadow Ball from our Skeletons, while at the back we have the likes of Vigoroth and Umbreon. Umbreon can be used pretty much like a punching bag, but sometimes you're gonna see that last resort is not gonna be your main way to go. Over here on your left I have the last resort version, but sometimes I decided to use the psychic one because I found myself at a pretty tough position against those fairy types and especially carbing. So with psychic we also get some extra damage for the fighters, which is pretty great, and at the same time we can use it as a last resort, pun intended, for our second charge attack, just in case we can apply the debuff. So overall psychic seems like a better choice at this Great League format. So now with Skeletons coming into the game, I guess that it is our perfect opportunity here to reach on the rock slide to deal a lot of damage on that Pokemon. Now they can easily snipe us down, but it's all fine since we can make them drop the remaining energy, and in the process we can still guarantee the knockout with a disarming voice. However, they end up going for the shield, and right on CMP we can win it with our Skeletons and grab this victory for our team, because now Vigoroth stands no chance up against us. Right into the next one, but first I want to ask you something. Do you find all of these ABB teams useful, or do you prefer going with the standard ABC line? Because I think that this team might be not looking like an ABB team, but still on the weaknesses it is, since on the back line we're pretty much afraid of those fighters, and of course by utilizing Vigoroth effectively and drawing out that fighter, your Umbreon eventually will have the upper hand. So write me down in the comment section, it is gonna be extremely fun to see your answers. Into now the Skeletons battle here, and as we're having a very bad lead against that Poliwrath, we managed to go ahead and spam our way to victory with our foul plays. So as you can see here, we are already on the mark. Here comes the foul play to finish them off, and I'm expecting that Poliwrath to return. However, with Poliwrath into the game, they can easily snipe us down with the counters, so I cannot reach to my last resort. Then I go now to the counters, and yes trainers, you saw correctly. Before I was using psychic, now I'm using last resort. You're gonna see that going on the video, because sometimes I feel like psychic is gonna be the perfect choice. Anyways, now with that Talonflame remaining at the very end, I find it really tough to believe that they are not gonna block, so I'm just gonna go here for the bait. They fall for it, and now rock slide for the nuke. However, that was a slight FPS drop, and we went for the overtap, which is kind of a big mess up, and we end up losing this battle anyways. Perhaps Shadow Ball here could have done the work, but I guess that they would win the CMP anyway, so down I go now to Talonflame. Not sure if this Talonflame could lose the CMP, but I'll have to check it out later. Anyways, now with the Azumarill lead now, we're looking at a pretty rough one for us, but hopefully we can manipulate them, since they always need 7 of those bubbles to reach to a Hydro Pump and eventually hurt us down. So obviously I'm just gonna switch out on my Vigoroth, trying to catch a move or just bait out something that my Umbreon is afraid of. And not only the fighters, but also the Charmers can be kind of a deal breaker for your Umbreon, so here we're having the upper hand on the switch, even though we're gonna fall short. I decide to go here for letting my Vigoroth go down, since now Skeletons can farm a ton of energy. 2 more Incinerates, even if Azumarill returns, we still have access on Shadow Ball, so we're just gonna fire it off as soon as we see the typing on the right upper corner, and now we can easily let our Skeletons go down. So now Umbreon comes into the game. Once again, we're gonna use the psychic version of Umbreon, and I can easily block here the Poliwrath so that I can spam my way to victory with my moves. So Psychic here will not knock them out, but still will apply the debuff, which is kind of a big deal. At this point, I know that I need to rely completely on my Umbreon, and those play roughs can be so bad for me. However, they just went for Ice Beam, right? So yeah, very well played on my opponent, and now Chargeback is at the very end. Those X-Scissors are gonna hurt us a ton, and we definitely do not like that. So eventually we're just gonna switch out on Skeletons to try and cast the move. They're gonna fall for it, so now X-Scissor will finish us down. However, the battle is definitely not over yet because they still have some energy to throw with that X-Scissor. So we are shieldless, and I guess that they need a little bit of extra energy on Azumarill to get to the charge attack. So this is gonna be a race on who can get their first Psychic for the win. Let's get it, trainers. Azumarill joins the party. Azumarill just left the party, and that was an absolute menace from Umbreon. Into the next game with perhaps the worst possibility that you can get against a Mudboy, and Swampert can be one of those ones that you are most likely afraid of because of how spammy they can get. Not only that, but also we have a kinda weak to Swampert team. At any shield scenario, in individual battles of course, Swampert can eventually emerge victorious. So now with Mountain coming into the game, we're just gonna go on the Rock Slide and see how they want to respond, because all I want to do here is to thread them to 0 HP with my moves. And as you can see on CMP, we managed to get on the Body Slam before they finish us down. Do they have Bubble Beam here? Yes, they do. That is absolutely insane and absolutely great information for my Skeletons, because right here we can take the move so easily without having any risk at all. Bubble Beam is such a weak move offensively, and now we can easily clear the debuff by switching out on our Umbreon. Also, we have banked some severe amount of energy on our Skeletons, so in the end game perhaps that can be a game changer for our team. Now with Swampert able to reach yet to another charge attack, we can easily go ahead and tank all that pressure on our Umbreon because of how good and bulky this Pokemon can be. Don't look at it as a pretty tiny evolution. I guess that still is gonna be pretty good on tanking those moves. Anyways, now with that Mountain coming into the game now, I'm trying to snipe them down, but they definitely can reach to another Bubble Beam. So now Wolverine joins the party, and of course we got access on Shadow Ball for the nuke. However, after the debuff they can survive kinda with ease, and another Shadow Ball is imminent. They have to get their hands here to a charge attack. They do. This is absolutely scary, but hopefully Ivy's Matter we survive with 1 HP, and Skeletons is gonna go to town. Into the next game now with Vigoroth up in front. I believe we started off the video with Vigoroth on the lead, so here is once more this Pokemon. Let's see how this is gonna go though, because they get straight on the Rock Slide and now switching out on Talonflame. My main way to go here is gonna be Shadow Ball. Obviously we're gonna deal a ton of damage, and right on the third Incinerate we managed to catch the move. This is gonna be absolutely awesome for us, because not only we can suck some energy with a switch out on Umbreon, but also we can get out of here with a ton of energy farmed up in return, able to completely farm down with those snarls because of how glassy Talonflame can be sometimes. And now by having access to the Foul Blaze, we can even thread a whole Vigoroth. This is looking super good for us right now. Foul Play number 2 to finish them down, and Skeletons is gonna be their final option. So the battle is definitely not over yet. We still have a lot of work to do here, but first we can fire off the Foul Play to begin off our work in the most positive way, since we can grab a shield right straight off the bat. And now with Skeletons going for that Disarming Voice, we can easily block on the second move and still reach on a Rock Slide for a potential one-shot. So let's see if my opponent decides to take the move here. Perhaps they're gonna feel kinda risky, but no, this is not the case at all. Instead they go for the shield, and now we can easily get on Shadow Ball for the unguarded one-shot with our own Skeletons on the mirror. Into the next game now with a kinda controversial lead, because we might deal so much damage with our incinerates, but also they can always outspeed to those rock slides, which is not gonna knock us out immediately, but still it is gonna provide a lot of pressure. So I lagged once again here. I should have gotten to the Shadow Ball, I believe, but for some reason that did not happen, and right after we're just gonna go for the Disarming Voice, and as soon as they go for the shield, I'm just gonna switch out because they're definitely getting super close and scarily close to another rock slide. So Body Slam now is gonna be my main way to victory against that Serperior, because Vigoroth is gonna be looking pretty good on Shiny. Shiny Vigoroth for the win. Another Body Slam is coming off, and hopefully with Serperior out of the way we can have a much easier environment for our Umbreon, because all those Frenzy Plant users or Hydro Cannon users are always gonna be a big threat to our Umbreon at any neutral instance. So anyways, now with Umbreon coming in, we can charge up a little bit extra. At the very end, Dragonair emerges, and that is absolutely awesome. We can get now our hands on those foul plays and of course apply so much pressure. Another one might actually seal the deal, and I'd rather take a move from Dragonair rather than something like an Earthquake from that poor Stunfisk. So they end up going here for the shield. I threw the move because I had to, but at the same time we can easily switch out on our Skeletons, grab the move on our Pokemon, we can survive somehow once again with 1 HP, and before they snipe us down, Disarming Voice will conclude this battle into an amazing victory. That was extremely close, and thank goodness we had Skeletons on our side. Into the next game now with Empoleon up in front, and oh boy, I remember this one. This is not gonna end correctly and good for us. Anyways, now with Goodra up in front, actually Goodra on the switch, Empoleon was up in front, we managed to have kind of an even scenario here, but I end up screwing this up because I'm letting the move go through, and now we are in a very difficult situation. So Body Slam here will definitely get a shield, I guess. No, it is gonna drop them very low, but still I cannot get on back-to-back moves because my opponent is gonna snipe me down. Anyways, now with Dragonite at the very end, yes, this is the one, we're just gonna go for the Disarming Voice to try and get a shield out of play, and perhaps we could have stayed in a little bit extra to get another shield out of the game. However, Dragonite here is gonna reach on its Dragon Claw, and now they are gonna go on a very good rampage of attacks because they can survive foul play and at the same time they can fire off a superpower. So I know that I have to block. At the very end, Empoleon re-emerges into the game, and of course my foul play is gonna do some decent work. However, even 2 foul plays are never enough to finish off a whole Empoleon out of existence, and they are already charging up a lot of energy. They know and realize that their only way to win this is to overcharge with Empoleon. They can easily do this, and now on that amazing farm up, we managed to get on the foul play to finish them down, but they were expecting my switch as I was trying to snipe them down, and my opponent is gonna take a well-earned victory with a final Hydro Cannon coming off Empoleon. What a great battle that was. That was one of the best ones that I had this entire season. In the final one now with the charger back up in front, obviously a very good lead, but on the switch we're meeting up perhaps with one of the most solid core breakers that exist in the entire meta of Open Great League, and that is Azumarill. However, with Azumarill you can always face it with a little bit of synergy. You just saw that we went for that Shadow Ball, and right after we switched out on our Vigoroth. This is how I want you to play this individual matchup, especially when they're coming into your Skeletons with a switch locking basically themselves. So now by getting to that Body Slam, we can somehow pressure them on knocking out this Pokemon, so they have to block. I realize here that I definitely need to maintain that very good lead that I am having with Skeletons over Charjabug, and in doing so we sacrifice both of our shields. Though I'm not doing that that often because most of the times I'm using my backline as punching bag so that Skeletons can re-emerge into the battle like a perfect closer. But on this incident I had to, because I want to have the upper hand over Charjabug, and as you can see here, my opponent with the Goodra is gonna gonna reach on some really crucial charge attacks before they go down. So I know here that foul play has to be unleashed on that Goodra to finish it off, and even with a shield we might actually be on a very good spot. So I decided to go here for that foul play before they get their hands on a charge attack, and right after I am just gonna force them in using a shield on my foul play. However, my opponent will still keep getting the moves on their end, and after they go for the Volt Switch, I'm just gonna snipe through and incinerate and grab this victory eventually with my Skeledirge. However, they can still survive, charge a bug with 1 HP, can register the damage much faster. This is getting super crucial. Umbreon comes into the game, they sacrifice their remaining energy. Can we get now to the counter? Yes we can, and Vigoroth will wrap this up into an amazing victory to end today's content. That is gonna be all for today. Before you go, leave a huge like, subscribe to my content, and I hope to see you all into the next one.